Everybody, here we go. March 8th, we'll begin always with the starter. So everybody go to the starter, and this starter is going to assess how well you completed documents E, F, and G from the DBQ. So as we're looking at this starter, which of the following is true based on 106 DBQ, which is document E? So double check, look at those. Okay, and then take a look at question 2, which of the following is true based on 107, which is document F. And then lastly, which of the following is true based on 108, which is document G. Okay, please complete that now. I will give you a couple minutes. Now let's take a look at the summary page for today. Look at the summary page, March 8th. Okay, you continue to use primary and secondary sources to interpret different perspectives of apartheid. The North Carolina State Course of Study is very similar. Use primary and secondary sources to interpret various historical perspectives. The unit is Africa and the Middle East, and the statement of inquiry is discontent creates change. Again, I want you to continue to think about how the Black South Africans would be discontent, would be unsatisfied with their situation throughout South Africa. Okay, throughout their history, the time of apartheid, and then we'll even get into modern day tomorrow. Okay, so the synchronous work again is the starter, which you did, and then we're going to begin 109 document H and 110 document I, and then we will always end with the ticket out the door. Your asynchronous work is to complete page 109 document H and 110 document I. So let's go ahead and move forward here to document H. But before we do that, let's look back at the 3 pages you're supposed to do before. Let's just kind of just recalibrate, just make sure we're all together on this. So if we're looking at this, this was document E. Okay, document E, page 106. Okay, this is a timeline of Nelson Mandela's political activism. So if we're looking at this, okay, I want y'all right now in the chat, okay, in the chat, and again, I want you don't submit it until I tell you to do so. Okay, I want everybody to type in the chat, what reason, why was Nelson Mandela placed in jail? We see some things up here where he was charged, or they dropped the charges, or he was acquitted, found not guilty in 56. But later on, he was put in prison. And I think it totaled 27, almost 28 years. Okay, so I want everybody to, again, type what you think. What reason was Mandela placed in jail? And then on the count of 3, I want you to hit submit or hit enter. Okay, I'll give you about 15, 20 more seconds here. 20 more seconds. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Go ahead and hit submit. And then I'll pause the video a little bit, take a look at some of these responses. All right, let's look at this next one. How did Mandela's tactics differ from that of Gandhi? Okay, now again, we previewed there. We kind of talked about this just a little bit because we haven't talked about Gandhi yet. That'll be the next unit when we get into Asia and specifically South Asia. Okay, but Gandhi's tactics were always non-violent tactics such as marches, boycotts, sit-ins, etc. Okay, things that were not weak at all. In fact, profound and strong. Okay, but there were different tactics or an approach as to what Nelson Mandela initially viewed as the way to defeat or to overthrow, to gain control as a Black South African. So I want everybody to get ready and type it in the chat. Don't hit enter yet. Okay, I'll give you 30 seconds. So everybody do that right now, 30 seconds. And as you're typing that in, if you have any questions at any point, so I'd love to talk about it because if you look at 1964, he's originally placed in Robben Island prison, which obviously was on an island. That's why it's called Robben Island. But I was able to tour Robben Island. So if you have any questions about that, or you want to hear any stories about that, please let me know. At some point, I was able to see Nelson Mandela's cell where he spent those 18 years. All right, so y'all get ready. I want you to hit submit in 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Everybody, let's see what, and then I'll pause the video and we'll take a look at the responses and talk about that together. All right, let's continue and look at page 107. So as you look at this, what I found intriguing, right? For me, the one thing that stuck out to me from this text in 1964 was this last paragraph. During my lifetime, I have dedicated myself to the struggle of the African people. I fought against white domination, and I have fought against Black domination. For me, that stuck out as I was reading this text. He cherished the idea of a democratic and free society in which all persons live together in harmony and with equal opportunities. So he was not seeking a Black-dominated society. He was wanting a fair and free society, democratic society, okay, where there's not one over another. Okay, for me, that was very powerful to read in that text. Okay, all right, so I want you to take a look at that first paragraph. I want everybody to write 3 specific changes that the Nelson Mandela, speaking on behalf of the Black South Africans, what were 3 specific changes that they wanted? Go ahead and type that in the chat now, and I'll tell you when to hit enter. You have 20 seconds, please. All right, here we go on the count of 3. Everybody hit enter. 1, 2, 3. And I'll pause the video and we'll take a look at some of those responses. All right, and I talked about this question too here. What was his ultimate dream, right? That free and fair society where everyone is, everyone's power is equal, okay? And no one group dominates another, okay? All right, let's continue. Let's look at page 108. All right, so somebody tell me, let's go through this. Let's tacos this here, okay? Let's tacos this political cartoon. Everybody put what time is represented in here. What time? Okay. All right, again, because the first letter of tacos is T, which represents time. Everybody go ahead and hit enter. Just put this in there, rapid fire, time. Okay, good. We got some good responses there, right? We see 1962 and 1990. So we see 2 different times represented. What about actions? What actions do you see? Go ahead and just type them in freely in the chat. Okay, good. Yeah, so we have, looks like some guards, workers putting Nelson Mandela into jail, into a cell, and then them watching over. Okay, them going in to release him, them releasing him, and Nelson Mandela coming out of that prison cell, a much larger individual. Okay. All right. And then let's look at what captions do you see? Type them in the chat. Type them in the chat. Let's go. Let's do this quickly. We're going to move on. Yeah, good, right? We see in you go, Mandela. We see, okay, you can come out now. And then guess we showed him. And then right here, right? Can't quite. I'm going to zoom in a little bit, maybe. We look at that. It says, and let that be a lesson, right? Indeed. So it's like they, they're thinking that they taught Nelson Mandela a lesson. Okay. Objects. Type them in the chat. What do we see? All right. I think I see like a cell. Maybe towers and a wall. Right. These shadows, but I don't necessarily think that that's intentional. But we see a barbed wire on top of the wall. Right. And similar here, a door, windows. Right. Then we obviously have like the prisoners and Nelson Mandela himself, okay, represented. And then summary. Go ahead and put the summary in the chat. What do you think this artist is attempting to communicate in their political cartoon? Again, go ahead, just put it in the chat. And we'll talk about this a little bit. I'll pause the video and we'll talk about this a little bit. All right, yeah, very good. So let's continue. Okay, let's move on to 109. All right, 109. So again, you know the drill. So I'm gonna just introduce this, and then you're gonna complete. I'll give you some time. I'll pause the video, and you can work on these two documents here. But again, first step, read through it one time. Okay, just skimming through it. Second step, number the paragraphs. Third step, read each paragraph one at a time. So you should not ever have anything highlighted in this second or third paragraph until you have finished highlighting this first paragraph on its own and written the hashtag. Okay. Do not move to that second paragraph for any highlighting until you've at least highlighted that entire first one and created the hashtag, or you've identified what the main idea of that text is. Okay. That is the document H. Then the last one. Okay. Image of the first South African elections in 1994. And in my opinion, that would say image of the first free and fair South African elections, because they had elections before, but they weren't necessarily free and fair because they did not include the Black South Africans. Okay. So again, you'll number that paragraph or section. So you would just number one here. Okay. And then you develop that hashtag as you look at that, and then answer the questions at the bottom of the documents. I'll pause the video. I want everybody to get both of those documents done right now, and then we'll catch up we'll get everybody back together for the ticket out the door. All right, let's transition to the ticket out the door, and that will be it for today. All right, ticket out the door. Go ahead, take that, please. Please. It is important to get these correct. Everything looks accurate to me. Be careful with that asynchronous work, because little hint here, there may be more than one option. Thank you.